Well, good evening and welcome to this week's edition of the Senior Footy show on a Thursday night, of course, and it is Hampden League at its absolute finest. And well, when you speak of Hampden League legends, this bloke certainly comes up, and it's great to be sitting in the hot seat with him. First time I've actually sat with this man in the hot seat on TV. We've done a hell of a lot on the radio for about 21 years, Alan Blackburn, as I say. Mate. Good evening to you. How are you, buddy?
How are you, Matty? Great to be here. I was on a couple of weeks ago with Hilly when during the May races, mate. There's a few scratching, so no, great to be here, buddy.
Hey, mate, great to have you. And as I said, 21 years we've been doing radio together, Blackie. Started on a Thursday night long time ago, and we were a bit nervous back then. We're not as nervous nowadays, are we?
And we've had a few ring-ins. Laurie Lee come in for a while, and then I took over. We've had Scotty Turner in there on a Saturday morning, and so it's been really good.
Sparrow Walsh too, of course. Errol Stewart back in the day. There's been an absolute list or a cavalcade of superstars. And listen, we've got a big show to get through. Looking forward to this weekend's round 7 action in the Hampden Football Netball League. It is going to be a beauty, and there's a cracking game coming up, and it's actually our VCFL WorkSafe game of the month as well. It is our Hampden League Live match of the day too. Plenty going on. Leon Cameron's coming down for it. Now, he's only 2 weeks out of the top job.
He is.
Ex-Rooster. It's North Warrnambool taking on South Warrnambool out of Bushfield, Blackie. And Tommy Boyd's coming as well.
And the netball coach is coming down. I forget, her name escapes me at this stage.
It certainly escaped me because I didn't even realise that.
Yeah,
so
no, she's coming down also. I'll get her name later on. But yeah, it should be good, mate. Let's hope the weather can hold off. You know, South are undefeated at the moment. North probably beating the sides they should beat, but probably need to win one like this, don't they, this week?
This is a massive game this weekend, and to preview it, we've got one of the superstars of the competition. He's in great nick. He's leading our pit stop menswear MVP in season 2022. He's been an absolute ripping pickup for the South Warrnambool Roosters. Joshy Saunders has been kind enough to join us. Josh, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, mate. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's as you said, going to be a big game this weekend. Probably one that they need to win, and one for us as well. We're definitely treating it as a bit of a final with last year and us two winning one each, and having a bit of a rivalry over the last couple of years. Definitely going to be one for each team. But yeah, we really want to get this win.
And Josh, it's such a big game for you guys, but I reckon it's probably an even bigger game for North Warrnambool, because if you happen to win this week, mate, you're really going to kind of dent the top 3 prospects of the North Warrnambool Eagles. It's going to make it a hell of a lot harder for them to get in that top 3 come the end of the year.
Yeah, definitely. I guess on the few games that they have lost, that they probably should have won. It does make it a must-win game for them, but as much as that, we're setting out every game to play and win, obviously, and them being a good side and a side that's going to press come the end of the year. We definitely really want to put our mark and play the best footy we can to knock them off.
And Josh, I'd like to ask you about your forward line. Shannon Bex has been the main man over the years, mate, but we've brought in Weir and Dye, a small and a tall, so that's taken the pressure off Shannon, and and Henderson's been down there also. So you got a bit of a good mix down there.
And Sammy Kelly's the other one you chuck in the mix. He's going pretty well at the moment as well.
Yeah, it's a very, very dynamic forward line this year, and probably not something that we've had over the past years with the extra height and probably the options going in. So yeah, having Dill Weir and Jack it definitely adds a string to our bow and takes some pressure off, Shannon and Smell and even Ricky going down there and being able to convert pretty accurately when he gets a shot at goals is definitely helping us in that area for sure.
And what about the midfield, Josh? You've shouldered a fair bit of the load over the journey. There's certainly a lot more players that are running through that midfield this year, and it seems to be your real kind of strength as well, doesn't it? You chuck yourself, Archie Stevens in there. Huss goes through there at different times. The Thompson boys. It's a pretty formidable combination, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel our midfield group has a lot of chemistry, and we're just trying to work off being able to play the right structure and the right brand of footy, which is winning the contest and then spreading from there. So yeah, it sort of doesn't really matter who we've got in there. Everyone knows their role, and we've been pretty adamant from the start that if everyone is playing that role, we're gonna have a good year and be able to get some good looks going forward.
And mate, with a good midfield, you need a good ruckman. Ollie Bridgewater's been really good, young fella. Come on, Shannon Bex has had a run through there, but he's been the mainstay in the ruck. He's been really good.
Yeah, both been very impressive. Ollie probably he played a little bit last year, obviously a shortened year, and got a bit of a taste for it and did really well. And he's just progressed amazingly this year with his contest, and then he's just got a big leap. So he gives us first use, and if he's not getting first use, he's making it a prick of a time for the other ruckmen to get their hand on it. So no, he's been really impressive for us in there.
Tell us about Ricky Henderson, mate, and the influence he's had, especially on the young kids. You know, I rocked up to Super Saturday last week with a young fella. He was playing at 9 o'clock, and Ricky's on the gate, you know, like, taking the money off the people coming in the gate, even early on a Saturday morning. I thought it was brilliant, to be honest. Just tell us about Ricky.
I get on really well with Rick. Rick's a ripper. He's obviously got a heap of experience come his AFL career that he's had, and he's fit in from the last year, and just brought a wealth of knowledge. And he's happy to sit down, talk to anyone. He's always pulling the group in when we need it, and just giving us that extra edge on little bits and pieces and tactics that he does. And off field, as you said, he puts his first one, put his hand up. He's helping on the gate, all that sort of stuff, and with some of the 19s or whatever they had the game last thing. He was coaching that for a bit as well. So he's brought a heap to the club, and he's playing some really good footy this year too, which helps down forward.
And mate, your captain, Liam Mills back. He's got chronic hamstrings. He's done it playing cricket, and then he done it in the practice match. He's had his first game back, and how's he travelling? Yeah,
I think he's played 2 now. So we played against Warrnambool, and then he played on the weekend again. So he's his hammies are pretty good. He said he's went up and seen someone in Melbourne, and they just did some more strengthening work with one of the PTs down here. So he's feeling pretty confident. He probably had 4 or 5 or 6 weeks off, and including a couple in the bye, so that helped us a bit there too. So no, he's raring to go. I think he's in these last couple of games, but he'll be fit and firing for this weekend.
Now, listen, let's have a chat about your opposition. Matty Battistello, one of the best coaches in the competition, coming up against, well, one of the legends in Adam Dowie. While you're probably not going to show all your cards this early on in the season, it's going to be an interesting little contest, isn't it? Like they've got Big Vardy, who's in good nick at the moment. He's a big boy. They've got plenty of positives, plenty of plus. Like Wines will come back in, of course, their skipper. So they've got some good players and some quality. And, of course, the reigning Maskell medalist will run through that midfield. You and him will probably go head-to-head, Jet Birmingham. So they've got some quality, haven't they?
No, definitely. We're definitely not taking them lightly. Look, they've played, and I think one of the articles, I can't remember who spoke, said it, but any team in the Hampden League can, on their day, can win a game. So it's very much the case. And if you're not on the ball or playing the right sort of footy, the other team has every chance. And we just want to base our footy on our contest, and if we get that right, we reckon that we're a pretty good chance every week to win the game. So as long as we come with the right mindset, I think we hopefully come away with the chocolates on the weekend.
And mate, we've seen North against Portland. They had a few injuries during the game and only just got beat, but it was a great game of footy. I think their forward connection they can work on. Vardy in form played mostly in the ruck that day, but I see he's kicked 6 or 7 goals last week. So, their connection going forward. Adam Wines, as Matty said, back into the side. So they'll be looking to connect from their midfield into their forward line a bit better.
Yeah, well, definitely. And coming up, our back line's probably one of our strengths as well. So it'll be interesting. Hopefully they get that all right. But again, hopefully our back line get on top and we can shut that down on them as well.
And what about yourself, mate? I said at the top, you're in sensational form. You're leading our pit stop menswear MVP, which is a magnificent Daniel Hector suit and some shoes and stuff like that, which I know that you'll fill out pretty well too, mate. It wouldn't be bad to win that come the end of the year. I know you're not about individual awards, but you're in good nick at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, as you said, it's obviously not about the individual awards and stuff, with our focus being obviously the bigger prize end of the year. But look, it is good to be getting your hands on the footy, and if you can contribute in a way in the midfield to help your team win some games, that's obviously going to be beneficial going forward as well. So yeah, look, it is good to get your hands on the footy early and get a bit of continuity with your form and stuff. But as a team, look, we're doing unbelievably, and we've got a really good midfield there to help me out, and that's what we're basing it on going forward from here.
And mate, you've got some great young kids there. I want to talk about one in Jed Henderson. He's got himself pretty fit this year. How's he travelling?
Yeah, Jed's an absolute ripper. He's works his absolute ring off. Jed, he had a massive pre-season, and even probably last year was in and out of the side, and probably just a little bit of experience, I guess, on games. But having another pre-season under the belt, and the role he plays for us is super, super important on the wing. He's always working back. His work rate's as good as anyone in the side or in the league, and just makes great decisions when he gets it too. So yeah, he's a weapon for us for sure.
Now, Josh, you're a little sparky now, mate. You're about 6 months off finishing your qualification. Give a bit of a shout out to your boss, mate. You got the hat on there, Brad Umbers.
BGU Electric. So Brad Umbers, he's my player sponsor. So I've got the hat on just from work today. So if you need any work, hit him up.
He's a ripper, mate, Brad Umbers, that is for sure. And great to see you doing well off the field as well, mate, and getting a trade under the belt, which is really exciting. Hey, listen, looking forward to seeing you this weekend. It's going to be a big day, mate. As I said at the top, Leon Cameron, Tommy Boyd's going to be there. There's going to be a big crowd, I reckon. It's going to be, it's a mini final. I know it's only round number 7, so we're pretty pumped and we're pretty excited, and so should you guys be.
No worries. No, this is a big game, so get down there if you get a chance, and hopefully we get the win.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for joining us, buddy. He's a good man and a very good footballer, Blackie. And if I was picking a Maskell medal winner, I know it's only early, I don't want to put the moz on him, but if I was picking a Maskell medal winner right now after 6 rounds, I reckon he'd be the man.
I think he's the guy. We have our pre-picks, so I picked him to win the Maskell. But Toby Jennings been pretty good, and Sam Cowling's had a good month of footy too, so pretty open, mate, I reckon.
I reckon I might have said Timmy McIntyre. He hasn't played a game yet for Saints, so that's how good I'm going. But I think he's back in a couple of weeks for the back half of the year. He's the death man, so looking forward to that. Blackie, let's have a recap. Round 6 last week. You went down to Cobden, mate. They took on the Warrnambool Blues. And, good effort by Cobden for 3 and a bit quarters.
Yep.
They just couldn't sustain it, but... talking to you boys, they've certainly got a bright future with some really good kids.
Yeah, they were right in the game until halfway during the third quarter. If they kicked the next goal, they would have been only 11 points down. So good effort. And then the midfield got on top and then got it down to Rowan and Cowling, and Jed Henderson chipped in with 5 goals. But good young side. Talking to Case down there, he's doing a really good job. He's really enjoying his work, and they got a couple of years, they get a few good key position players into their side. They'll be really good. But no, they're going really well, Cobden. But Warrnambool, on the flip side, very good. I'm very happy for Parky, and he's doing a good job. And the top 5 sides that are in the 5 anyone could beat anyone at any stage, mate.
Yeah, this young kid, Reggie Mast, isn't he? He's only just turned 16, Reggie, and he has got a really bright future. What about Sammy Cowling? They told me he had 20-plus marks on the weekend. He's in great nick. His last 2 or 3 weeks have been unbelievable, mate.
Yeah, no, and he's leading up, and he's looking fit and refreshed, and... Cobden they had some inexperienced players playing on him and through the midfield, but you still got to get out there, take the mark, deliver it. But his work rate is just really good, and he's covering the ground well. And Rowy's getting closer to Tony Russell's record, so
he's in good nick, isn't he?
He's in good nick, and Jed Henderson, as we said, slips in for a couple of goals. Paddy Anderson, he was pretty good also, so he's had a couple of good weeks too, Paddy.
Yeah, he's a great recruit. I think it's worked well for Paddy getting up to the Blues and giving him a new lease on life, and he's enjoying his footy, which is what it's all about. Blackie, you just touched on, the top 5. Do you think the top 5 set? Do you think anyone else? Is Hamilton the only other team that could probably push from outside?
It probably comes down to Hamilton and Cobden, and when you look at it, Warrnambool are a pretty good 5th side for me, mate. Really good. So, look, I know it's a long way off, and I don't think it'll change, but I'm looking forward to a really good final series. And as I say, any of the top 5 could beat each other at any time. So let's hope it stays the same. And then comes probably Hamilton, Cobden, and then a little bit to the rest, mate. So
would we have been sitting here at the start of the year, Blackie, thinking that Portland were going to be 6 and zip?
No, definitely not. Pretty good draw. They got a couple of hard games. They had a good win against North Warrnambool, as we've seen. And they've got Croydon South to come in the next few weeks. So look, that's going to test them, and if they can win one of them 2, they're probably nearly locked away for a top 3 spot, which is going to make it tough for the Eagles.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I think this weekend's game is just so important, isn't it, Blackie?
It is.
For the Eagles. Like, to be honest, they just can't afford to lose it.
No, they can't, mate. And they're going to, as we know, they get Adam Wines back. Jenkinson come back last week. I'm not sure about Billy Smits, but and Tommy Batten come back as well.
And
so
Parrish
might be coming back as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate with Parrish because he's got himself so fit.
Yeah.
And it's just that niggly little hamstring, just you know, it frustrates the heck out of him. So.
And what about Big Vardy? I think, what, he 8-7 or 8-8 or something last weekend?
Yeah.
He's in good nick. We saw him the week before. I did the week before against Portland. I thought he was magnificent. His ruck work that day, where he spent the majority of the game, was first class. You know, he rucked against big Toby Oakley, and Toby's a big enough kid himself. He's a big boy, and he just done a good job, but he was just kind of monstered by Big Vards in the end.
And then the next week, did he kick 7 or 8? And he kicked a lot of points, so he must have been a lot. Didn't spend much time in the ruck last week, I would say.
Yeah.
Might be saving him up for this week, Matthew.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, promises to be an absolute ripper. The worksday round. So Norma Plummer is the former Diamonds coach.
Exactly.
That he's coming down to. So thank you to those people that tweeted us out live on the show as we're going up at Norma Plummer. That is the coach that's coming down this weekend. So Norma Plummer, Leon Cameron, and Tommy Boyd. There's some absolute legends. And Leon Cameron, 2 weeks out of the top job, and he's down here at his old footy club, the South Warnell Roosters. That is a great effort. And we're going to get him in the commentary box. We'll get Tommy Boyd on. We'll get Norma on. It's going to be a big
I don't
day.
think he'll get up the stairs, Matthew, with his hip, though, will he?
What, Camo?
No, I don't think he will he? Will he get up?
You reckon he's gone now?
Oh, he's pretty wobbly in his hip. I might have to stay
Well,
downstairs
you might
and
stay
just talk to him.
downstairs, mate, and give him the old special comments mic down there. Wouldn't it be good to get him in the commentary box for a half or a quarter, just to get his take on Hampden League footy, because he wouldn't have seen a Hampden League game for a while.
No.
I'm tipping Blackie. And, good man, Leon Cameron, that is for sure. So looking forward to it. Well under the VCFL and WorkSafe and getting involved. And the North Warrnambool Eagles and South, obviously, is that game. Snag of the day, Lucas Brothers snag of the day. Big Pete Harris. He's over at Germany at the moment with his big Frankfurts or whatever. What are they called? The Hogwarts or Stratworth?
Strasbourg.
Strasbourg.
Something. Yeah.
Bratwurst.
That's it.
That's the guy, the big fella. So, who won the snag of the day?
Well,
I wasn't there in the weekend.
There wasn't a great deal of highlights actually for the day.
The Matco High highlight of the day contender, they're the same thing. And then the Southwest Tool of the week. Any nominations or anything funny?
No, not really.
No one getting bogged in the vehicle.
We didn't get bogged.
Home?
No, we never got bogged. Hilly was driving. I reckon he's a bit blind when he's driving. He goes over to the other side a bit. You've got to say, come on, Hilly, get over to the other side.
He drives very slow, Hilly, doesn't he, too, compared to me. He's very driving Miss Daisy-like, is Treddy Hill. Very cautious, to say the least. But they got there safe, and a big shout-out, too, to our great mate, Clinton Bolshaw. He's not with us anymore, but he provides that magnificent Nissan each and every week for the Hampden League Live boys, which is just magnificent. Been a great supporter for such a long period of time. Has Clinton Bolsh, Warrnambool Nissan, over the journey. Blackie, let's have a look at this weekend's round number 7. Are the games? Camperdown taking on the Warrnambool Blues. Big game for the Magpies to make a bit of a statement here, isn't it, Blackie?
It is, mate. Yeah, look, Camperdown, Terang, Mortlake, they find it pretty tough down to Port Fairy as well. Fairly tough going for them bottom 3 or 4 sides in it. So, it's going to be a big game for them. And, they can take it up to the Blues. They've got big Sammy Gordon up forward. They've got their coach back this week who couldn't coach. Cam Spence took over the coaching duties because of COVID. So, Swaney's back this week. And talking to a few Koroit people, and they're not saying it just to be nice, but they said Camperdown had a fairly good crack. So,
good on them.
Yeah, that's good. That's all you want, isn't it?
Absolutely. Port Fairy taking on the minor Koroit. The Saints are up and about a bit at the moment. Not going to get much easier, is it, for the Seagulls, Blackie?
No.
Your old mob?
I don't think so, mate. Poor old... I think Sammy Dobson's not going to play. He's kind of hurt his ankle a little bit late in the game.
Freshen him up a little bit.
Freshen him up. And
still got Timmy McIntyre, as I said, to come in.
And Benny Goodall, we're talking to Brett Harrington, played his 250th last week. He said Benny Goodall couldn't train on the Thursday night, but it should be right for this week. So.
Wowzers. What an inclusion to get in. He is a champion, Benny Goodall. Hamilton taking on Cobden. Bit of interest in this one. This could possibly be
the second match of the round.
It is.
Because I rate these two about the same. Good young list, and I was pretty impressed with Cobden. Look, they had as many inside 50s as Warrnambool in the first half, but didn't convert. That seems to happen a bit, doesn't it? And Hamilton at home, I think they'll be fairly hard to beat under Hamish Walden, doing a good job as a playing coach. So I reckon it'll be a good game, but I think Hamilton might just get the biggies.
And the final game, of course, the Portland Tigers taking on Terang Mortlake. They're looking to go 7 and zip. And the week after, we've got them in our Hampden League Live match of the day. They're taking on the Koroit Saints at Victoria Park. And then I think they play the Roosters the week after that. So back-to-back for the Portland Tigers.
Yeah, so you know, this week. They played Port Fairy last week and they got Trang Mortlake this week. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy game, but, you know, you still have to play well and bring your best game. But it should be a good hit out for them, where South have got a pretty hard game this week against North. Koroit have got a Port Fairy, so, you know, Portland and Koroit next week or the week after should be a great contest.
Absolutely. Well, that is round number 7 action. It is going to be a ripping weekend. It is the WorkSafe match of the day too, which is going to be sensational. Between the North Warrnambool Eagles and the South Warrnambool Roosters. Now, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Sun Gold Milk, Billy Slater and the crew. Magnificent supporters of everything local. Horse racing, football, netball, cricket, you name it, they get involved. Soccer, they do it all. Absolutely sensational. Lindock Living. Now, Blackie, we didn't get there last year because of COVID, but we've got the pie night, the Chittix pie.
Yes,
the official pie of the Hampden Football Netball League, and what a magnificent pie it is. We're having a pie night out at Lindock Living.
I might stay there, but I'll just book in.
Well, mate, there's probably a spot already warm for you, Blackie. So I'm tipping that there's a room that's got your name written on it. Trisha's probably a few more years behind you, so there'll be one for you nice and early. But I'm pretty sure, I'm going to drop it. I'm going to run with it. But we've got Mickey McGuan coming down for the pie night, which will be magnificent. And Mick, I think Mick likes a pie, to be honest, if you've seen him recently, Blackie. So he'll smack a few pies in that night. But dates will be confirmed. It is going to be a ripper. And, you know, I'm tipping that there'll be opportunities for the public to come along and be part of that night. We're going to do it like a front bar kind of style little night with the pies, and I don't think we'll have the beers, but we might have the Cokes or the fresher fruit juice or the Sun Gold milk.
We could have, mate.
Which would be magnificent. So Lindock Living, we thank them for their support as well. Power Core, they're just magnificent. Timmy Rourke, Brian Seeley, Moo Cowling, Kevy, just an absolute plethora of superstars out there, mate. They do a wonderful job. And they should be commended, and they're just on board, which is sensational. Southwest TAFE too, another major sponsor of the Hampden Football Netball League in 2022. Fiji and the crew down there, they are sensational. They're just a great organisation. If you're thinking about some courses and stuff, make sure you get involved with Southwest TAFE and McDonald's. Anthony Nigro on the team. Now, I have to say to clubs, there is footballs waiting for each and every club. So you must make contact with Maccas. They are sitting there. There's $1,800 worth of footballs and netballs sitting there waiting for your football club. So, Blackie, you'd be mad not to take it up. Mate, there's balls, there's everything. You name it, they have got it. So all you got to do is, if you're watching this, make sure you let your club know that it's sitting there ready to go. Get in contact with Mike Farrow and he will point you in the right direction. And thank you to Anthony Nigro and the team at McDonald's.
Fantastic. And they're there. All we have to do is contact or get into Mike Farrow.
You on this weekend?
Beg your pardon?
You coming out to the footy this weekend? Good. I like it, mate. I think it's myself, Possum. And Eyes and yourself. So Eyes is he's the stats guru. Any chance we can get the quaddie this week, Blake?
We unfortunately we didn't even read out the quaddie numbers last week. Did he get it or not?
Probably did. I'd say no. I don't think
we would have heard. We would have heard.
Yeah, would have heard if he did. That is for sure. But yeah, it is going to be a great day. That is for sure. This Saturday, Hampden League Live match of the day. North Warrnambool will take on the South Warrnambool Roosters out of Bushfield. We'll see you at the footy this weekend. And if not, enjoy yourselves.